I'd like you all to close your eyes and imagine with me for a moment. You're in the final seconds of a championship match. The score is tied. The pressure for most would be overwhelming, but not for you and your teammates. You're prepared. You're locked in, communicating with fighter pilot precision, and you're adapting on the fly. As the clock ticks down, you see one final opportunity to make a selfless play and sacrifice yourself. It's at that moment that your teammate has space and they nail their shot. As the crowd erupts and your teammates surround you, the emotions flow with the realization that you are a champion. So I wonder what many of you might have been thinking. Maybe you were thinking about a traditional sport like soccer, basketball, or volleyball. Having played soccer here at Barry University, I've had many championship moments. But that moment that I just described to you, that was from a championship esports match. And I've also had those beautiful moments. Equally, they have defined me. So, what are esports? Esports stand for electronic sports, which are competitive, organized video games. And I always lose people at video games. But why? What if I told you it was about more than just playing games? That it was more than just child's play? That gaming and esports were actually one of the greatest training grounds for problem solving and teamwork? What if I told you it was so much more than you may believe? Well, I came back to gaming and esports after a decade away during one of the most isolating times in our history, the COVID-19 pandemic. And what started as garage gaming parties and hopes of winning local gaming tournaments had transformed into a global industry. I was amazed at how far things had come. There were professional players, sold-out stadiums, and collegiate pathways. But what stood out to me most upon my reentry is that I found a vehicle for delivering exceptional outcomes, both personally, but also to the communities in which I serve. I built friendships I wouldn't have otherwise had, strengthened my relationship with those closest to me, and I watched my wife, a self-proclaimed introvert, develop relationships we never imagined possible. It was incredible. I saw humanity and the world around me strengthened. And that's what I want to talk about today, how gaming and esports, when used purposefully, can be a powerful and inclusive tool for strengthening our humanity. So, let's address the elephant in the room. Gaming carries a lot of stigmas. It's often seen as an addiction, something that isolates us, or that's entirely unproductive. But what if we flip that narrative? What if gaming was actually one of the greatest ways to make connections, build skills, and foster resilience? You know, I've seen that impact firsthand. I've watched parents talk about how it's built a sense of belonging and it's created a space for confidence for their kids. I've seen school districts that have fought for funding in order to create spaces of inclusion and relevance. I've seen college students find their purpose and pathway. I've seen girls and women shattering barriers. And I've seen kids of all backgrounds and abilities celebrated and cheered for their accomplishments. You know, as a college athlete, I knew what it felt like to score a championship goal, to win a championship, or to even hold my first jersey in my hands. Not every kid gets that moment, though. And now, through gaming and esports, they can. Gaming truly is inclusive, empowering, and limitless in its potential. But beyond these amazing examples, it also builds undeniable and transferable skills that we use in our everyday lives. Gaming forces players to solve problems under immense amounts of pressure. It fosters resilience through continuous failure. It demands real-time teamwork, and it commands leadership to be successful. But beyond all of this, what speaks to me on a deeply personal level is what gaming and esports mean for mental health. At a time when loneliness is at an all-time high, local and online gaming communities can be a lifeline for kids and adults. So, don't let outdated stigmas block the positives that gaming and esports can provide. Lean in, because when structured with purpose, gaming isn't just entertainment, it's a gateway to so much more. Now, for gaming and esports to thrive, we must increase awareness, acceptance, and access. And that starts with all of you here tonight. Through a ripple effect, we can help our friends, families, community leaders, schools, and the organizations that surround us understand the power of gaming and esports. And this isn't just a theory of mine. Some of the most unusual places have already embraced gaming. Across the world, we're seeing that health and educational and developmental-based programs are already embracing gaming to teach, connect, and heal. We've seen school districts that have created full career development pathways to prepare kids for the future. We've seen colleges and universities that have developed full degree programs. And they're also giving scholarships to their top competitors. We've seen mental health organizations that are actually focused on building communities around gaming, and they're creating programs that are focused on healthier habits. We're also seeing hospitals that are using gaming for recovery during some of the most unimaginable circumstances we could ever think of. But these are just some of the examples, and there's many others, but they remain the minority in public opinion. So, how do we embrace gaming and make a difference? It starts with intent, purpose, and an open mind. Don't view gaming through a lens of negativity, but rather through one of possibility. See it as a vehicle for connection, growth, and opportunity. We also need to bridge the generational gap. Oftentimes, leaders, parents, and educators view gaming as a distraction. But instead of dismissing it, we need to understand it, meet young people where they are, and guide them to maximize their potential. So, here's my challenge to you. Whether you game or not, whether you love tech or you worry about its impact, consider a new approach. If you're a parent, don't fear gaming. Engage with it. Meet your kids where they are and use it as a bridge to validate their passion. If you're a community leader, consider the impact on your community and become a sponsor for local initiatives. If you're an educator, think about how gaming can be used as a tool to engage in the classroom. If you're a business owner, think about the benefits of gaming and what that may mean for your business and your workplace. And finally, if you're a gamer, be relentless, be passionate, and do not be embarrassed or ashamed. Share your love of gaming and the value that it brings to your life with the world. Because gaming isn't going anywhere. And if we're intentional, we can ensure that it strengthens, not replaces, our humanity. Thank you.